Hermes Agent, I think, is a complete waste of time. And I'll tell you why. I know that it's very hyped here on LinkedIn. There's AI YouTubers calling it a game changer, making claims like it can act as a 24/7 employee, etc. The same kind of hype that OpenClaw or ClaudeBot had a few months ago. But let's see if that's true. Now, Hermes does make some pretty tall claims. One of them is that it's a self-improving AI agent. And this really is a strong selling point for a lot of folks who have given it a try. And that was a selling point to me. But again, let's see if that's actually what it does. As well, they claim that it's the only agent with a built-in learning loop. And they claim that the skills that it uses improve during use. And honestly, it does look pretty cool. And their new UI for the agent is also looks impressive. But unfortunately, these claims are a bit of sales hype. These claims are a bit of a marketing stretch. So I actually took a look at the source code to see what it does. It is open source after all. So the self-improving part of it is just this right here. These few lines that get the agent to update the skills when it needs to update them. So there's no actual AI model or neural network or an actual artificial intelligence that's getting better. It's just updating those SKILLS.md files, which you could set this up in your Claude Code or in your Codex. So what they call a self-improving AI really is the same SKILLS.md setup that Claude Code or Codex has inside of a folder in a markdown file. So the verdict on their main marketing claims: is it a self-improving AI? No. Does it get smarter? No. Is there a learning loop? No. What it does do is it does keep those .md notes updated. But again, you could have Claude Code do the same or Codex do the same. But there's definitely not an AI that's learning or improving or training as a good training itself, because the AI models that you're using for Hermes aren't Hermes. They're Claude Code, they're Codex, they're open source models like DeepSeek, etc. And your work inside of the Hermes agent is obviously not driving learning or improvement in those models. So if you boil it down, there's really nothing new. In fact, the skill setup is identical to Claude or Codex, with the exception of, like I said, it can update those skills.md files. But again, Claude could do that as well. And if you read the fine print, if you read their online docs, they do say that skills are basically the agent's procedural memory. In other words, it works the same way as Codex and Claude Code. However, here they say it's based on proven experience. So it does have that updating capability. But again, that's nothing that Claude Code or Codex couldn't do. Also, there's serious security issues. Not as bad as ClaudeBot, aka OpenClaw, but there are some security issues still. The main one is the YOLO mode, which many people do turn on. And that YOLO mode, it basically gets it to run without asking and enables it to do pretty much anything, any commands from terminal. It can, for example, do a hard reset of your entire Git, which is not something you want. So I think it's pretty dangerous turning on YOLO, given that this is an open source model. We don't know what security vulnerabilities. So it is quite risky turning on YOLO mode in Hermes, because it's an open source project and probably has some vulnerabilities. It's just dangerous turning on YOLO. Now, of course, the other thing is that if something goes wrong, if you get hacked or your entire drive or GitHub gets wiped, who's liable? It's an open source project, so no one's liable. You're liable. Whereas if you're using Claude Code or Codex, OpenAI and Anthropic are liable, right? So there's no one taking on the risk that you're taking on. Now, to be fair, it does have capabilities that Claude Code and Codex couldn't do out of the box. For example, it works in Telegram or any other messaging app, and you can plug it into any model, be it Claude Code, Codex, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever, and of course it's free. But that's nothing different from OpenClaw. OpenClaw can do these things too. Granted, There's these couple things that it can do your standard Claude Code or Codex couldn't do out of the box, but it's nothing revolutionary. Furthermore, if you really wanted to, you could set up your Claude Code and your Codex on your favorite messaging app as well. So it's not a self-improving AI. Now, it is a bit harsh to say it's a glorified notepad, but when you boil it down, that is what it is. It's just the same notes that Codex and Claude Code use. The difference with Hermes is that they somehow have really good marketing and messaging. But their marketing and messaging is a bit of a stretch. So my advice would be to skip Hermes, keep using Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor, or whatever else you're using. They can do most of the same things. They have better security, and you can be confident that they're maintained and reliable. Unless you really want to be able to use different models on your projects and have your AI agent working from your favorite messaging app. If you do, then you can give Hermes a try, but otherwise, to be honest with you, overall, it's a waste of time. It does have one advantage over OpenClaw, and that's that it's a bit more secure. Still dangerous, but it's significantly more secure than OpenClaw. So if you really want to try out one of these AI agents that operate in your favorite messaging app, if I had to choose one between OpenClaw and Hermes, I would go with Hermes. However, I really have no urge to talk to through my messaging apps. I like talking to real people there and keeping my work online. So there you have it. I tried it out. I found it a waste of time. Took up a lot of my time. And hopefully you won't have to waste your time on this, unless you want those few features, like I said. So if you like this type of honest AI tool review with no hype and objectivity, subscribe to my channel, and that'll help me make more of these unbiased and honest AI tool reviews so that you're not wasting your time on hyped up tools and you're investing your time into tools that are actually going to add value to your daily work. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.